silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor that you may believe. Cassius, go you into the street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let him stay here. Those that will come with Cassius, follow him, and public reasons shall be rendered for Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak, and I will hear Cassius, and compare their reasons when severally we hear them rendering.
Awake in your senses, and censure your wisdom that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus' love of Caesar was no less than his. Then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar. This is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Would you rather Caesar were living, to die all slaves, or that Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him, but as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy at his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondsman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so vile that would not love their country? If any, speak. For him have I offended. I pause for a reply. None, Brutus. None. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory is not extenuated wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced for which he suffered death. Here lies his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live! Triumph onto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar. Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus. We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors.
My countrymen.
Peace! Silence! Brutus speaks.
My countrymen, let me depart alone. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace the speech that Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you. Not a man depart save I alone till Antony have spoke.
For Brutus' sake am I beholding to you.
What say he of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake he's beholding to us all.
'Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
You gentle Romans, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them, the good is often turned with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you that Caesar were ambitious. If it were so, it were a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of stern stuff, but Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Friends, I come not to steal away your hearts, but here am I to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, and not without cause. What cause withhold you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to Brutus!
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong. Has he, masters? I feel a worse shall come in his place.
Marked you his words? Caesar would not take the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear by it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping. There is not a more noble man in Rome than Mark Antony.
Now mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, right disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who, as you know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not need to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, and dip their napkins in his sacred blood, yea, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
Read the will!
Read the will! Read the will!
Take it, gentle friends. I must not read it. It does not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood. You are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For if you should, oh, what would come of it?
The will!
Read the will! Read the will!
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I must not read it. I've overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors!
They were
Honorable
villains!
men!
Murderers! The will! Read the will!
Read the will!
You compel me then to read the will!
Aye!
And make a ring around the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave?
Thou?
Descend! You shall have me!
Stand from the hearse.
Obey,
Stand for the
stand
body.
down.
Room for Antony! Most noble Antony!
Nay, press not so on me. Stand farther off.
Stand back! Stand back!
If you have tears, prepare to shut them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. If Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude, more strong than traitors' arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart. Master is right. Now you. I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred as you see with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
Oh, noble Caesar! Oh, noble day!
Oh, traitors, villain!
Almost bloody sight.
We will be revenged. Revenge.
We'll
Fire.
We'll
Burn
burn
the house to the
Masters, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. Friends, I come not to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but as who know me all a plain, blunt man, that love my friend, and that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, nor action, or utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I speak only right on. Show you Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there where an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar, that should stir the stones of Rome to rise in mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll
We'll
burn
burn
the house of Brutus.
But stay, countrymen, yet hear me speak. Good friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your love? Alas, you know not. I must show you then. You have forgot the will I told you of.
The will! Let's say bring it will!
Here's the will! And under the seal of Caesar, to every Roman he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Oh, noble Caesar, will revenge his death.
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors and new planted orchards on this side of Tiber. He hath left them to you and your heirs forever. Here is a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never. Never. We'll come away. We'll burn the body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take the body.
Go fetch fire, pluck down benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything!
Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. How now, Helen?
Sir, Octavius is already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I heard him say, Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike, they must have had some notice of the people, how I moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charged my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
I and briefly.
I wisely.
I am truly the best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly. Wisely I say I am a bachelor.
That's as to say that there are fools that marry. You'll bear me bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly I'm going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matters, answer directly.
For your dwelling briefly.
Briefly I dwell by the capital.
Your name, sir? Truly?
Truly my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces! He's a conspirator!
I'm Cinna the poet! I'm Cinna the poet!
Terror versus bad person!
He's a conspirator!
It is no matter. Pluck what his name out of his heart and turn him going!
Tear him! Tear him! Comrades! No, Briar brands. To Brutus, to Cassius burn all. Some to Decius his house, some to Cascus, some to Lagaris. Away! Go!
Bring those blocks hither, Lepidus. Where is Octavius? Where is Octavius?
Why, sir, I don't know. He was here earlier. Octavius.
Bring them over here. So, these many men then shall die, their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent, your Highness.
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition that Publius, Your sister's son must too die, Mark Antony.
You shall not live. Go, you Lepidus, to Caesar's house, and fetch the will hither, and we shall discuss how to cut off some charged in legacies.
What, shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
This is a slight, unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit of the threefold world divided, he stand one of the three to share it?
So you took him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and proscription?
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man, he shall bear them as the ass bears gold.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to whine, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And in some tastes Lepidus but so. He must be taught and trained and bid go forth. A barren-spirited fellow, one that feeds on objects, arts, and imitations, which, out of use and stale by other men, do begin his fashion. Do not speak of him but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers, who must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined, our best friends made, and our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in council and discuss how covert matters may be best disclosed, and open there I'll sure answer it.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake invaded about with many enemies, and some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.